Welcome to Space News Brief. You can find us on Twitter at Space News Brief or online at bluehelmco.com. Today, in 1995, NASA launched the Cassini spacecraft on a mission to explore Saturn and its moons. It is Thursday, October 15th, and these are your top space news headlines. The European Space Agency has awarded contracts for work on elements of its Moon and Mars exploration program, ranging from modules for the Lunar Gateway to a mission to return Mars samples to Earth. ESA's announcement on the contract was tied to an October 14th session of the International Aeronautical Congress, where ESA and European companies discussed their partnership with NASA on both the Artemis Lunar Exploration Program and the Mars Sample Return series of missions. Among the contracts announced today were Thales Athena Space and Airbus Defence and Space. Orbital Sidekick is speeding up its campaign to build and launch a constellation of 6 hyperspectral imaging satellites thanks to a $16 million government contract announced today. The Air Force is helping accelerate the rollout of Orbital Sidekick constellation, quote, because they understand there is a commercial viability to what we're doing, unquote, Katz said. Quote, the faster we can build and launch and operate these satellites, the faster we can supply the intelligence community with hyperspectral data, unquote. Orbital Sidekick is preparing to launch its second hyperspectral sensor in December on a loft orbital satellite scheduled to travel on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rideshare flight. NASA is providing funding to a moon-hopping robot and mini laboratory being developed in Houston. Intuitive Machines is receiving $41.6 million to develop a robot that can hop into craters and photograph hard-to-reach crevices that might be worthy of exploration. Alpha Space Test and Research Alliance is receiving $22.1 million to develop a shoebox-sized facility where potential lunar technologies will be tested against the moon's dust and harsh radiation. Both companies are working towards NASA's goal of creating long-term sustainable operations on the moon, and they were among 14 U.S. companies selected Wednesday to receive $370 million through NASA's Tipping Point solicitation, which provides funding for technologies on the cusp of maturation and could be brought to the market for government and commercial uses. SNB is brought to you by, statistically speaking, about 49% of you might wear bras. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I even know what I'm talking about when it comes to them. However, our new sponsor, Hope's Chest, does. Since 2009, they've specialized in helping breast cancer survivors and those who've had reconstructive surgery, breast augmentation, and reductions. They also help those that are well-endowed, itty-bitty, athletes, moms-to-be, and those who have suffered from fibromyalgia. So if you have a problem trying to find the right fitting bra, head over to hopeschest.com for a unique bra fitting experience. They're going to help you find the perfect fitting bra for you. Once again, head over to hopeschest.com or give them a call at 714-797-9996. Law, policy, and events in space. The Federal Aviation Administration on Thursday announced it's replacing decades-old rules as it adapts to rapid growth in the industry to propel satellites and eventually private citizens into space. Quote, this rule paves the way for an industry that is moving at lightning speed, unquote. FAA Administrator Stephen Dickinson said in a press release, quote, we are simplifying the licensing process and enabling industry to move forward in a safe manner, unquote. There have been 26 FAA licensed launches so far in 2020, and the agency projects that will grow several-fold in coming years. The new regulations, which will take effect in 90 days, will allow the companies to use a single license for multiple launches instead of the current system of reapplying each time. The change will reduce the time it takes to review applications, according to the press release. The Mars Society's 2020 convention launches today at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time and will run through October 18th. The daily schedule is based on the U.S. Pacific Daylight Time, beginning at 9 a.m. The 2020 Mars Society convention schedule is linked in the show notes. In the fun extra reading section, I have an article from the Physics World. This whole article talks about the new rocket systems and boosters that will be coming out. A quote from the article goes like this, quote, the global space access industry will be limited if it remains focused on optimizing conventional rocket technology, which was first used in the mid-20th century, unquote. I just thought it was an interesting article to read, if you'd feel so inclined. So if you hear my voice, thank you for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Tell one person about it. Let's get those numbers up. Keep me here. Keep us interesting. All right, my name is Chad Scarborough. Drink your water. I'll talk to you tomorrow. SNB is a space news aggregate that takes all the top space news headlines on the internet and presents them in a less than 10-minute podcast. In order to have complete transparency, every story talked about on this podcast is listed in the show notes. We do not take credit for writing any of these stories.